deep in space, far beyond the known human colonies, something large and cold was moving. The Zorth Dominion fleet. It was not new. It was not small. It was ancient, organized, and confident. The Zorth had conquered 12 star systems without a single full defeat. Their history was full of victories, broken civilizations, and silent planets that once resisted. And now, Earth was next. On the command ship Varkan Prime, the alien commander, Supreme Overlord Zalvor stood still as he watched the holographic map of the solar system. His voice was calm. "This is the final test of this sector," he said. "Humanity will fall quickly. Prepare the invasion sequence." Around him, officers responded in sharp alien clicks and tones. Everything was precise. Everything was controlled. There was no fear in the room, because there had never been a reason for fear. Earth was a small blue planet. Weak signals, weak defenses, primitive space activity. Compared to the Zorth Dominion, humans looked like children playing with fire sticks. But something strange happened as the fleet moved closer. The human system went silent. No warning signals. No military response. No global broadcast. Just silence. One officer tilted his head. "Supreme Overlord, Earth is not responding." Zalvor did not move. Then they've already accepted defeat. But a junior analyst hesitated. "That is not normal behavior, sir. Most species either beg for mercy or attempt communication." Another officer added, "Humans are not sending anything at all, not even emergency signals." The command room grew slightly uneasy. Zalvor finally turned. "Fear does strange things to weak minds. Continue approach." The fleet moved closer. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth orbit. The first contact range. Human satellites detected the massive alien fleet first. At NASA's Emergency Monitoring Center, alarms started ringing. Scientists and military officers rushed into the room. Screens filled with strange objects. Hundreds of massive ships forming a perfect formation around Earth's orbit. One scientist whispered, "This is not a meteor. This is organized." Another said, "We are looking at a full invasion fleet." Panic should have followed. But something unexpected happened. A senior officer ordered, "Activate Global Defense Protocol." And then, nothing. No global military response came. Because every defense system on Earth was suddenly receiving the same strange signal. A broadcast. It was not from governments. Not from militaries. Not from any known satellite system. It was human. But it was not serious. It was laughter. At first, the analyst thought it was a glitch. The screen showed a human face. A young man, sitting in a small room. He was laughing so hard, he almost could not speak. Behind him were posters, memes, and strange, colorful images. And then he said, "Yo, if aliens are watching this, welcome to Earth. You picked the wrong planet, bro." Then he laughed again. The transmission looped. More messages followed. Different humans, different languages, but all of them joking. One message showed a man eating noodles saying, "If you invade, at least bring snacks." Another showed children waving at cameras saying, "Do aliens have Wi-Fi?" The Zorth Dominion intercepted the signal. Confusion spread across their fleet. Alien command ship. Confusion begins. Supreme Overlord Zalvor watched the transmissions carefully. "This is mockery," one officer asked. Another replied, "It appears to be entertainment behavior." Zalvor narrowed his eyes. "Humans are aware of us, and they are laughing." Silence filled the command room. That was not normal. Every known species reacted to invasion with fear. Some with rage. Some with surrender. But laughter? That was something new. A communications officer suddenly spoke. "Sir, there are more signals coming from Earth." The screen changed. Now it showed entire human networks flooding every frequency. Memes, short videos, animated jokes of aliens being confused in human supermarkets. Even fake alien interviews, where humans joke with imaginary invaders. One video showed a cartoon alien slipping on a banana peel while humans clapped. The Zorth officers stared in silence. One of them whispered, "Are they trying to insult us?" Another said, "Or distract us?" But Zalvor raised a hand. "No, this is not distraction. This is behavior without survival logic. He paused. Analyze further. Globe with meridians Earth. The strange calm. Back on Earth, governments had finally confirmed the truth. Aliens were real. And they were here. Emergency meetings were held across every major country. Military generals, scientists, and world leaders gathered in underground command centers. But something strange was happening. Instead of panic spreading across the public, people were watching. Live streams of the alien fleet were trending worldwide. Some were scared, but many were not. A strange calm existed. A young soldier in one bay said, "They look big, but also kind of slow." A civilian said, "If they wanted to attack, wouldn't they have done it already?" Another joked, "Maybe they came for coffee." Even in crisis, humans were not acting like expected. But beneath the humor, something serious was happening. Human defense systems were activating quietly. Hidden satellites, underground missile silos, encrypted communication lines. Everything was being prepared, but not rushed, not chaotic, controlled, calculated, like humans were waiting for the right moment. Alien back in space, the first warning. On the alien fleet, sensors picked up sudden changes. Human satellites were now broadcasting again, but not jokes this time. They were broadcasting maps, alien fleet positions, movement predictions, weak points in formation. Zalvor's eyes sharpened. This is intelligence gathering. An officer said, "They are tracking us perfectly." Another added, "But they are still laughing in their public channels." Zalvor finally spoke slowly. "Either they're insane," he paused, "or they want us to believe they are." A heavy silence followed. Then the fleet detected something else. A message, directly aimed at the alien command frequency. It was short, very short. Just one line, "Welcome to Earth." And then a laughing emoji, warning the first decision. The command room erupted in confusion. Are they mocking us? Do they not understand extinction-level threat? Should we accelerate invasion? Zalvor stared at the message for a long time. Then he spoke. "Begin full invasion sequence." The officers immediately obeyed. The fleet engines ignited across space. Massive ships shifted positions. Weapon systems powered up. Earth's orbit began to glow with alien activity. Down on Earth, every monitoring station saw the same thing. The invasion had officially started. But even as alarms rang across the planet, somewhere on a human live stream, a young man smiled at the camera and said, "Well, if this is it, at least it's going to be interesting." And he laughed. Once Supreme Overlord Zalvor gave the order, everything changed. Space around Earth became alive with movement. Massive Zora warships shifted into attack formation. Dark energy engines burned brighter than anything ever seen near the solar system. Small moons were used as shield platforms. Drone ships spread out like a net around the planet. It was not just an invasion. It was a statement. The Zorth Dominion did not lose. And Earth was about to learn that. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth. The moment everyone felt it. On Earth, every military radar lit up at the same time. From America to Asia, from Europe to Africa, the sky was showing the same impossible truth. The aliens were moving, fast, perfectly organized, like a storm with intelligence. At the United Earth Defense Command, officers stared at the screens in silence. One general spoke quietly. "So it begins." No one answered him, because there was nothing left to say. Outside the underground bunker, the world above was still watching live streams of the alien fleet. Some people were crying, some were praying, some were still joking. But now the jokes felt nervous. A young technician whispered, "We are really doing this against that?" Another replied, "We don't have a choice." But even then, something strange remained. There was no total panic, no collapse. Humanity was afraid, but not broken. Alien fleet, the first strike plan. Inside the command ship Varkan Prime, Zalvor stood in front of the tactical display. "All orbital defense satellites must be cleared," he ordered. "Begin atmospheric entry sequence." The plan was simple. Step 1, disable space defenses. Step 2, control orbit. Step 3, land ground forces. Quick, Clean. Total control. A junior officer spoke. Sir, human satellites are still transmitting. Zalvor replied coldly. Ignore them. But then the officer hesitated again. Sir, the transmissions are getting stranger. Zalvor turned slightly. Explain. The screen changed. Now Earth's entire internet network was broadcasting live. Not from governments. From civilians. And what they were showing made no military sense. People were live streaming the alien fleet, like it was a global event. One stream showed a man making tea and saying, "If aliens come down, I offer chai first." Another showed students in a classroom waving at the sky, shouting, "Don't destroy our exams, please." A woman held a sign that said, "Aliens welcome. Please avoid traffic areas." And then the memes returned. Alien ships edited into cooking shows. Alien commanders drawn as cartoon characters. Even fake alien reaction videos of humans doing funny things. The Zorth officers stared in silence again. One finally said, "They're still laughing." Another added, "Even now." Zalvor's expression did not change. But something inside him was starting to feel unfamiliar. Not fear, not anger. Something closer to confusion. Glow with Meridian's Earth defense. Hidden reality. Deep underground, Earth's true defense system was waking up. Not the visible armies. Not the public weapons. Something older. Something secret. Satellite networks that had never been revealed to the public began activating. Hidden orbital platforms unfolded solar shields. AI-controlled defense grids connected across continents. A scientist spoke softly in the command room. "We are ready, but not fully." A general asked, "What does that mean?" The scientist replied, "We are ready to survive, not ready to win." Silence followed. Another officer added, "Then we adapt." And that is what humanity did best. Adapt. Alien first alien move. The shock entry. The Zor fleet launched the first wave. Hundreds of small drop ships detached from the main fleet. They burned through Earth's atmosphere like burning stars. Cities looked up. People saw them. And for the first time, fear became real. Air raid sirens across the world began screaming. Military forces moved. But something unexpected happened again. The drop ships did not immediately attack. They slowed. They scanned. They observed. It was not a full strike. It was testing. The aliens were studying Earth's reaction. And what they saw made no sense. In one city, people had gathered on rooftops to watch. In another, live streamers were counting the ships out loud. Some were even cheering, not because they were safe, but because they were curious. One teenager said on camera, "Bro, they look like flying buses." Another replied, "I think we are underdressed for this invasion." Even in fear, humans were still speaking like it was an event. The aliens detected emotional signals. Confusion increased again. Alien ground contact. First landing. The first Zora dropship landed in a desert region. Dust exploded into the air. The ship doors opened slowly. Elite alien soldiers stepped out. They expected resistance. They expected fire. They expected silence or chaos. Instead, they saw a human waiting. Just one. A man wearing casual clothes. Holding a camera. He waved. "Hi," he said. The alien soldiers froze. This was not protocol. The human did not run, did not attack, did not surrender. He simply waved again. Then he said, "Are you guys lost?" The alien commander on the ship received a live feed and stopped moving. One officer whispered, "This is a trap." Another said, "Or insanity." Zalvor watched closely. "Proceed carefully," he ordered. On the ground, the alien soldiers advanced slowly, weapons ready. The human just stepped back slightly and said, Okay, no need to be dramatic." Then something unbelievable happened. The human pointed at the alien ship and said, "That is actually pretty cool design. Did you guys design it yourselves?" The alien soldiers paused again. No species had ever commented on their ships like that. Not fear, not worship, just design feedback. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth reaction. The internet explodes. Within minutes, footage spread worldwide. Aliens had landed. And humans were talking to them, not fighting yet, not surrendering, just talking. Social media exploded. One post said, "Aliens confirmed. Still no traffic improvement." Another said, "They came all the way here and still didn't bring snacks." Memes multiplied faster than official military updates. But beneath it all, something important was happening. Human intelligence networks were tracking alien behavior in real time. Every movement, every scan, every hesitation. And analysts noticed something critical. The aliens were uncertain. Not weak, not defeated. Uncertain. And uncertainty was something humans could use. Alien back to the landing site. First real contact. The alien commander finally stepped out of the ship. He approached the humans slowly. The desert wind moved between them. Two species. Two completely different histories. The alien spoke first. "We are the Zorth Dominion. You are to submit." The human blinked. Then he said, "Okay, but why though?" Silence. Even the alien soldiers behind him did not move. The question was not expected. Not in any database. Not in any war doctrine. The alien commander repeated slowly, "Submit, or be destroyed." The human nodded slightly, then smiled. "Yeah, I think Earth is going to pass on that." For the first time in recorded Zorth history, a first contact conversation did not follow the script. An invasion started to feel less certain. The desert was silent, not peaceful silent. The kind of silence that feels like something is thinking. The alien commander stood in front of the human, still processing the last sentence. "Yeah, I think Earth is going to pass on that." No panic, no surrender, no fear, just refusal. Spoken like a normal choice. That was not how civilizations behaved when facing extinction. Behind him, Zorth soldiers held their weapons steady. Their system scanned everything. Air, ground, even emotional signals. And still, the human showed almost no fear, only curiosity. The alien commander spoke again, slower this time. "You do not understand your situation. We are not here for negotiation." The human nodded. "Yeah, I got that part." Then he pointed at the alien ship behind them. "But you also didn't answer my question." A pause. "What question?" the alien asked. The human smiled slightly. "Who designed your ships? They look cool, but also kind of heavy. Not very fuel efficient." For the first time, a Zorth officer behind the commander tilted his head. Confusion again. This was not resistance. This was commentary. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth. Watching the impossible conversation. Across the planet, millions were watching live. The first confirmed alien landing. The first contact. And yet, nothing was exploding. Nothing was burning. Instead, a man in a desert was talking about ship design like it was a tech review. At the United Earth Defense Command, analysts were frozen. One said, "This makes no tactical sense." Another replied, "It might be psychological resistance." A third whispered, "Or they're trying to annoy the aliens into mistakes." That idea made everyone pause, because it was possible, very possible. Humanity was not stronger physically, but it had one thing dangerous: behavior that could not be predicted. Alien command ship, something is wrong. On Varkan Prime, Supreme Overlord Zalvor watched the feed closely. The desert scene remained stable. No attack, no resistance formation, just conversation. But something was changing in the data. The alien soldiers on the ground were showing unusual microsignals, delayed reactions, slight hesitation, emotional confusion. One officer reported, "Sir, the field unit is experiencing cognitive disruption." Zalvor narrowed his eyes. "Explain." The officer hesitated. "They are not afraid of us, but they are also not reacting as expected. Their responses do not fit any known behavioral model." Zalvor remained silent for a moment, then said, "Humans are adapting in real time." Another officer added quickly, "Or they are stalling." A third whispered, "Or they are studying us while pretending not to." That last sentence hung in the room longer than expected, because it made sense. Too much sense. Globe showing Europe, Africa, the human pattern begins to show. Back in the desert, something shifted. The human finally stopped joking. His expression changed slightly. Not fear, focus. He looked at the alien commander and said, "Okay, serious question now." The alien commander did not respond immediately. The tone had changed. Even the soldiers behind him adjusted their stance. The human continued, "How many ships do you have in orbit right now?" Silence. The alien commander replied coldly, "That information is not for you." The human nodded. "Fair." Then he pointed upward. "But I think I already know anyway." That sentence triggered something in the alien sensors. A data spike. Because the human was right. Human satellites had already mapped 83% of the fleet positions. And the aliens did not know that. Not fully. Brain, the real human strategy, starts appearing. On Earth, inside hidden defense networks, something was happening. Military analysts were not just watching. They were learning. Every alien movement was being recorded. Every reaction tested. Every hesitation studied. A senior analyst spoke quietly. "There are emotional stabilizers." Another asked, "What does that mean?" The analyst replied, "They are too disciplined, too structured. If we make them emotional, they become unstable." Silence followed. Then another officer said, "So the jokes, the memes, the live streams." "Yes," the analyst replied. "Not just humor. Controlled unpredictability." Humanity was not randomly joking. It was feeding confusion. Deliberately. Alien ground unit. First signs of crack. Back in the desert. The alien soldiers received a new order. Secure the subject. Prepare for extraction. The commander stepped forward. This contact is over. But before anything could happen, the human raised his hand. "Wait!" The alien stopped. Even they did not know why they stopped. The human pointed at one soldier. You look tired." The alien soldier froze. That statement was not in any protocol. The human continued. "You've been standing like that for a while. You should probably stretch or something." One of the alien soldiers slightly shifted his posture. Just slightly. But it was noticeable. On the command ship, Zalvor saw it instantly. Why did he move? No one answered. Because no one knew. Globe with meridians Earth. Humanity learned something important. Inside Earth's command centers, a new theory formed. Humans were not trying to defeat aliens directly. They were trying to disrupt them emotionally. A young strategist said, "If they rely on perfect coordination, we introduce unpredictability." Another added, "If they rely on fear, we remove fear." A third said, "And if they rely on superiority, we make them doubt it." A silence followed. Then the senior commander spoke. "Then we continue the current approach. No panic, no retreat, just adaptation." Alien the commander's doubt. Back in the desert, the alien commander finally stepped closer to human. Now the distance between them was small. Too small for two civilizations at war. The commander spoke slowly. "You are not behaving like a conquered species." The human shrugged. "Yeah, we get that a lot." Then he added, "We are kind of bad at following scripts." That word, scripts, echoed in the alien command structure. Because war had scripts. First contact had scripts. Invasion had scripts. Victory had scripts. But humans? They didn't seem to follow any of them. Warning, first internal conflict begins. On the alien fleet, a new problem appeared. Not human resistance. Not weapons. Internal disagreement. Some officers wanted immediate destruction of Earth defenses. Others argued for more observation. One said, "They are psychologically unstable. That makes them dangerous." Another replied, "No, that makes them unpredictable." Zalvor listened to both sides, then said, quietly, "We have fought civilizations." He paused. "We have never fought confusion." Silence followed, because no one had an answer for that. Milky Way the moment before change. Back in the desert, the human looked at the sky, then back at the alien commander. "Honestly," he said, "I thought you guys would be more dramatic." The alien commander asked, "Dramatic?" The human nodded. "You know, explosions, shouting demands. Instead, you just showed up and started scanning like a boring science project. A pause. Then the human smiled again. But I guess that's okay. We can work with boring. That sentence changed something. Not physically, not visibly, but mentally. On multiple alien ships, hesitation signals increased by 0.7%. Small, but real, and in war. Even small changes mattered. The desert wind moved slowly between two species that should never have been standing this close. One was built for conquest across galaxies. The other was supposed to be an easy target. And yet, nothing about this moment felt simple anymore. The alien commander stood still, watching the human carefully. The silence between them was no longer peaceful. It felt like pressure building inside a sealed system. Behind him, Zorath's soldiers waited for orders, but the orders were no longer obvious. For the first time in their history, the Dominion was unsure how to proceed. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth. The world holds its breath. Across Earth, the entire planet was watching the desert livestream. Millions of screens showed the same thing. A human standing in front of an alien invasion force, talking like it was a normal meeting. At United Earth Defense Command, tension filled every room. One officer said quietly, "This is taking too long." Another replied, "Or it's exactly the point." A third added, "We still don't know if this man is alive or dead in the next minute." But even then, nobody looked away, because something about the situation felt different. Not safe, not stable, but unwritten. Alien Command, the first break in control. On the alien flagship Varkan Prime, Supreme Overlord Zalvor was no longer standing. He was watching and thinking. The data feed showed everything. Ground unit hesitation increasing. Emotional stabilization failing. Command response delay growing. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to worry a civilization built on precision. An officer spoke carefully. "Sir, we recommend immediate termination of ground contact. The subject is influencing troop behavior." Zalvor did not answer immediately. Instead, he replayed the footage again. The human, still calm, still speaking casually, still not afraid. Then Zalvor finally said, "No." The room froze. Even the officers stopped typing. Zalvor continued, "If we remove him now, we learn nothing." A pause. Then, "And we are already learning too much." That last sentence was not in the report. It was instinct. Globe showing Europe, Africa. The human shift begins. Back in the desert, something changed. The human stopped joking completely. His expression became focused. He looked at the alien commander and said, "Okay, you're not here just to talk." The alien commander replied, "We are here to claim this planet." The human nodded slowly. "Yeah, I figured that part out." Then he added something unexpected. "But you're also trying to understand us." Silence. Even the wind felt quieter. The alien commander narrowed his eyes. "That is irrelevant." The human shook his head. "No, that's the whole problem." He pointed slightly toward the sky. "You came here thinking we would react one way." He paused. "But we didn't." Brain Earth strategy, the hidden trap revealed. Inside Earth's command network, senior analysts were now fully focused. One of them spoke. "It's working." Another asked, "What is working?" The analyst replied, "The confusion loop." He pointed at the data. Every alien response is becoming less predictable. That reduces their coordination efficiency. Another officer added, "And humans are not giving them a stable pattern to lock onto." A silence followed. Then the general said, "So we are turning uncertainty into a weapon." The analyst nodded. "Yes. Not strength, not firepower. Behavior. Human behavior." Alien the commander's realization. In the desert, the alien commander finally understood something was wrong with the framework itself. Not the mission, not the soldiers, the assumptions. He spoke slowly. "You are not resisting like a normal species." The human replied, "What is a normal species?" That question did not have an immediate answer. The alien commander hesitated, and that hesitation was recorded across every Zorath system. Zalvor saw it instantly on his display. A commander hesitating in conversation. That had never happened before. warning the first collapse of certainty. On Varkan Prime, systems began flagging unusual patterns. Zorth's soldiers were not panicking, but they were questioning. Not orders, not discipline. Reality. One officer reported, ground units are experiencing conceptual conflict. Another added, they cannot categorize human behavior properly. A third whispered, they are not afraid of death, but they are also not behaving like they accept it. Zalvor finally spoke. That is because they are not playing the same game. Silence followed, because that statement changed everything. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth. The moment of understanding. In the desert, the human took a step closer. Now the distance between him and the alien commander was almost nothing. He said quietly, you expected fear. The alien commander did not respond. The human continued, you expected panic. Still silence. You expected us to break. He paused, then said, but we don't break like that. A long silence followed. Then the human added, we adjust. The alien questioned. For the first time, the alien commander asked something without protocol. Why? The human blinked. Why what? Why are you not reacting like other species? The human thought for a moment, then said, because we've had practice. That answer made no immediate sense. The alien commander asked again, practice against invasion? The human smiled slightly. No. Then he looked up at the sky again. Practice against impossible situations. A pause. Wars. Disasters. Collapse. Survival. We don't react, we adapt mid-process. The alien commander stood still. That concept was unfamiliar. In Zorth doctrine, reaction was structured. Adaptation was controlled. But humans treated adaptation like instinct. Milky Way the turning point. On Earth, defense systems began activating fully. Not because aliens were winning, but because humans now understood something important. This was not a simple invasion. It was a test of behavior. And humans were learning faster than expected. A senior commander said, we stopped reacting to their strength. Another asked, then what do we do? The answer came simply, we changed the rules. Alien the final miscalculation. Back in orbit, Zalvor finally made a decision. All fleet units prepare for full planetary suppression. The officer hesitated. Sir, ground contact is still unresolved. Zalvor replied, ground contact is no longer relevant. But even as he said that, a new signal arrived from Earth. Not jokes, not memes, not broadcasts. A structured message, military grade, direct, and it contained only one sentence. You are not invading a passive world. You are entering a responding one. The alien fleet went silent. For the first time in the entire campaign, they were no longer analyzing Earth as a target. They were analyzing Earth as an ecosystem. Globe showing Europe, Africa, final desert scene. The human looked at the alien commander one last time, then said, so what now? The alien commander did not answer immediately, because the truth was simple. The invasion had already changed, not in success or failure, but in nature. Finally, Zalvor's voice came through the alien communication link. Withdraw observation units from immediate contact range. A pause. Then, we reassess. The fleet above Earth slowly began to reposition, not retreating, not attacking, observing. For the first time, uncertain.